Today I want to share some tips and tricks with you that I've picked up along the way on how to make my lighting more effective and, quite frankly, much easier. Some of this stuff I picked up several years ago. Some of this stuff I've just learned recently. So I thought I'd share it with you in the spirit of using social media in a positive way. We're going to be dealing with PARs today and even some tubes. All this stuff is Ape, but it really doesn't matter if it's Ape or another brand. The fundamentals are the same. And a lot of this is my opinion on how things should be, which really doesn't mean anything. You can take it or leave it, but hopefully it helps somebody and gives you something to think about. Let's get started. Unfortunately, I do not have a blank wall in my house to do this demonstration, so we're going to use the record cabinet today. I hope you can kind of suspend some disbelief here. I was talking to somebody yesterday about symmetry. They were telling me that they always buy lighting in pairs or even numbers. They'll buy 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 because whatever they have on one side of their DJ booth, they want on the other side. Very OCD. That's what they want. So here's 2. And I want you to look at what's going on here. You've got a light on the right, and you've got a light on the left. If you're looking at this on a larger screen, you're probably looking back and forth at the lights. Let me add another set of lights in the middle. What are you looking at now? What are you focusing on? Look at your screen. You're probably seeing the wall as a whole, or maybe you're not necessarily focusing on anything. Maybe your brain is kind of going back and forth a little bit. This is what happens when you deal with even numbers and symmetry. But let me show you something else. And some of you OCD people are going to freak out, but here, let me do something real quick. Let me just come over here. I'm going to pull this light out of the equation. In fact, I'm just going to turn it off, bring it over here. And then I'm going to take this light right here. I'm going to move it right to the middle. Now look at it. Look at the wall and tell me where your brain is focusing. Are you still looking back and forth? Or are you looking right in the middle? I think most people would look right in the middle. When you see an option of door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, most people pick the door in the middle. Now think about if you are doing uplighting behind a head table. What's in the middle? The bride and groom. So maybe that should be the focal point. Instead of looking back and forth, or not really focusing on anything in particular, lighting can help people focus on the newlyweds that are sitting right in the middle of the table. What I like to do these days is wash walls with uplighting and let that light fragment into the room, creating a wash. I don't feel like I need any other effect lights to create some really cool ambience in a room. These 3 lights right here are lighting up my studio just fine. Kind of in the middle out here between the camera and the wall. There's a nice wash. It's kind of romantic. It's not super bright. It's creating that ambience that I think people need. Let me just do something real quick. Let me put this entire wall on a fade. And you can see that it's kind of exciting. I mean, more exciting than just a standard color. The wall is washing. People can see the wall and see the color change. And they're also seeing the light kind of reflecting off of the wall and the ceiling onto, we could call it our dance floor. I'm really big on this. It's easy, and I think it's incredibly effective, and I think it's also very friendly towards any of our clients or guests to do it like this. And the reason I think it's cool is because there's not really much of a chance for anybody to look directly at a light source unless they look down and get blinded. They can look at the wall and they can say, hey, the wall's changing color. This looks pretty nice. What a lot of people do is like to shine PARs like this towards the audience to watch the audience. And from the DJ's point of view, being behind the lights looking out onto the audience, that looks pretty cool. But let me show you what it looks like from the audience's point of view. Just give me a second. I'm going to stick one, I don't know, we'll stay here. Yep. And I'll put one here. And we'll put one here. Does that look cool to you? Is it pleasurable? Is it doing anything except blinding you? No, it's not a good look. I don't believe it's a good look at all. It looks great from the DJ's point of view behind the lights, but this is what your audience is seeing. It's kind of what I like to call hit by a truck lighting. It looks like a semi's coming and it's blinding you right before you get ran over. So that's why. Take these same lights, you do it like this. It's a much nicer experience. I think it's a better effect. It's less painful. It's more functional. And no one's getting blinded by lights. I did an event recently that had some challenges. About a month ago, Art and I did an event at the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, 1903. Beautiful space, but the walls are dark charcoal. And one of the walls, right in front of the dance floor, right where the DJ sets up, is all glass. Spoiler alert, you can't light up glass. So I needed some different solutions. We had some columns in the room that we could light up, and that was great. They were crystal. But I needed some kind of dance floor wash because a lot of those crystals soaked up a lot of light and there wasn't a lot of wash going on. I've got these neon tubes. A lot of companies make tubes like this, but these are pretty cool. They work within the ecosystem of Ape. And have a look. They are frosted, which creates a filter. And looking at these is not as painful as looking at a set of pars. Now you can turn them up if you want to, and it's still not too bad. You can turn them down if you want to. But that was a great solution with glass walls and dark walls to still create wash. Yeah, I uplit some of the black walls and you can see the color on the wall, but it wasn't reflecting any light back into the audience or the dance floor. The dress that she had was beautiful. They wanted it to sparkle because it had sequins in it. These made it happen. And these are also flicker free, which is nice. These are hot right now. A lot of people are going with the tubes. You can get them with tripods so you can freestand them. I used 3 on the dance floor. Didn't use 2, didn't use 1. I used 3. And I think it worked really well. It was the right tool for that job. We got a lot of compliments from the photographer and the video guy. But yeah, have a look at this. I mean, these are on real bright right now. And as you can see, it's lighting up the room really well. You see the carpet? I mean, imagine what that's going to look like on a dance floor. They're also relatively low. They're not like in anyone's line of sight who's over 3 feet tall. So it's not painful to look at the wall anymore or the DJ or whatever happens to be on that wall or even out the window. And you still get your wash. This technique also works really well if you're in an open space. Some people talk about doing like a beach party. There's nothing to reflect light off of. There's not even a tree or anything. What do? Well, you can blind your audience with stuff on a bar, shining at them, or you can do something like these tubes, or alternately, you could do something like warm a totem, or something like these glow tubes. All this stuff works in environments like that. What do you think of today's video? Let me know in the comment section if you liked it, found it helpful. Hit me up with a like. I hope I didn't upset too many OCD people with that non-symmetry of 3s. And that could be 3s, that could be 5s, 7s, 9s, whatever. But 3 seems to be a really good place to start when it comes to creating a focal point on something like a wall for something like your couple who you're doing your event for. But anyway, that's it. Thank you. We'll see you soon. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Practice and enjoy.